everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Table of Four. I'm Sunny.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Lena.
Now, Jorge.
And for today's episode, we are going to be talking about conspiracy theories.
Ooh, that put that
Ooh.
soundboard to work.
Creepy, I know, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, so we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, you guys.
I have a lot to talk. Well, not talk about. There's like different ones in my brain, like bouncing around. I think for me, do you guys ever? I think we talked about it actually, like before we started the podcast. You know how we like mention a word like, oh, like for example, I'd be talking to Jorge like, oh, Jorge, like man, those beans were good for I guess for dinner last night, and then whatever, like I feel like the your computer or your phone would pick it up, and then they would send you ads about it like after you talk about it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that's like conspiracy theory that I thought about. So I feel like they're always listening. So like, what do you guys think about that kind of stuff? Like, do you think it's true? Do you think like they are doing it, but like in a certain way? Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I
Mm.
definitely think they're like listening in because like, of course, yeah, like if I like Google it or whatever and then it pops up on Instagram, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense because I Googled it and everything's connected. But like if I said, oh, I gotta remember to buy dog food tomorrow, hooray, and then all of a sudden my dog food starts showing up
Yeah.
on the internet, I'm all like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the same day too, and you're just like,
Yeah.
what you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's scary, you know. It's weird because like I feel like didn't like the government get all like hot in the hot water when it comes to news because I think what was it? What was that guy's name? Oh my God. The person who like I guess said like, "Oh yeah, we're totally being watched," and it's totally true. And like he ran away to some country, and then I guess like yeah, like it kind of proves that we are being like listened or watched, but it doesn't specify how much or how long. It just
Mm.
people I guess are aware that it does happen now. So like it could be with like your social media, with your phone, or I guess if you have a smart TV, I guess that's a thing too. I kind of think it's like everything. It's kind of crazy because like if you think about it now, technology is so like advanced or like it's so I guess invasive that it's true, but we don't really like I guess see that aspect of it. If you like, you know what I mean? Like for social media and stuff like that, when you take a picture, like your location's on there and stuff like that, right? So maybe like
Mm.
that's their way of like keeping track of what we're doing and stuff like that, you know? But I mean, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about it, Sonny? Do you have any thoughts about it?
Like for like the thinking of like the government listening on you.
Well, like yeah, like being like you know how we talk like say a one word about like for example beans or like food, and then like the
Beans.
next thing like we're being
Beans?
sent
I like it.
targeted ads
Um,
like buy our
What do
baked
I
beans.
what do I think about beans?
Oh no,
beans.
just
I
that's just
don't
an example.
Yeah.
Like am I crazy or do you guys think like this is like that's a thing like I don't know like the
Mm,
cameras and all the my little microphones and like TVs and smart TVs and stuff like that. Like I don't know, maybe that's how they know. I don't know.
I don't think that they're listening. I mean, maybe I'm not sure
Yeah, it makes you think
because
about it, right? You
yeah,
just
I'm not sure
like
because the thing is that like I I feel like um not when you're saying it, but like I notice that like if I'm depending on what I'm searching or depending like what I buy, I feel like they know what I want because that. But I don't know if I believe it if it's like, you know what, I'm craving pizza and then like a John and then like Little Caesars commercial comes out. I don't think that is true. I feel like it could
I
be
don't know,
coincidence,
man.
you know? But then
Yeah.
again, I don't know about you, but I do notice nowadays there isn't as much different varieties of commercials as it was back then.
Do you feel like it's targeted more like for
Mm.
your personal taste, do you think?
Yeah, I feel like nowadays I feel like there's like this new thing of like targeted ads, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, I feel like honestly, I feel like the days of commercials are kind of gone and now it's just called advertisements or ads.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know? I feel like it isn't called commercials anymore, you know? And so
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of like smart TVs like or you're on your phone, I feel like it's just targeted ads now. You know? And so I feel like that's what they're doing, you know? I don't know if they're listening, they maybe could be listening, but I don't know. it's and that's why it's called a conspiracy theory, right? Because
Yeah, because we don't
you
So
know.
now, yeah,
we may never know,
yeah.
and so that's why, like, I think they're not listening, but maybe they are, you know?
That's my point. Yeah, because I think like I don't know, like oh yeah, here's a question though. Okay, well, how many of you guys put like a little piece of tape or like a little piece of paper over your like your laptop camera or like any camera that you're not using? Because I
I
do. I don't know.
do.
I'm a little
Oh
paranoid about
yeah,
that. Yeah, because
yeah,
I
me
feel like
too.
I
I'm
don't
being
give a
watched.
fuck. They can watch me.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
No, yeah, I always
No.
put a little piece of put a Post-it on top of my camera. Maybe
I guess
that's
Yeah.
why my
because
camera's so
yeah.
janky.
I think I do that too because because people can hack. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen
Yeah.
like those videos like of like people hacking Ring cameras?
Oh
You
yeah, I
know?
did see this stuff
Right,
about that.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen La Rosa de Guadalupe?
Oh my
They
god.
watching you on your computer because they hack into it. Come on, Jonathan.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. That stuff. I feel like yeah, like with the Rosa de Guadalupe or like even what Arturo or sorry, Sonny is saying. My bad.
Okay.
Oh, what Sonny was saying. About the Ring cameras because I think there was like I think a bunch of Ring cameras being hacked into, and
Mm.
I didn't think there was an article about it where I think it showed this one case where it was like a mom and her baby, and like there's a person like on like the little speaker. I guess they have like cameras inside their house, and the person was saying like, "Oh, hey, little baby, what's going on?" Whatever. Like he was being like, I guess weird about it, and the mom's like,
Ew.
"Who's that? Like, who's that voice? Who's that? Like I don't know that voice." And then it's like the guy. I think he was like a teenage kid, that's kind of messing with stuff like that, who's like really tech savvy, and they're just
Mm.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm in your like your little system, booga booga," and Blade's like, "Oh my god," like
Mm.
freaking out, because she doesn't know who that
Yeah.
person is and how they
Yeah.
got access to like their Ring cameras. So like, yeah, no, I definitely think like stuff like that, like the cameras being hacked and stuff like that is definitely a way that people can get like more information out of you, which is why I put my little piece of tape. I don't know about horror. Horrors are like whatever, like I'm gonna like have
Mhm.
the world see me, but I don't know. For me, I'm like super like
Yeah.
skeptical about well not skeptical but paranoid, but like what would you say you're more of like a skeptic Jorge, or like are you more like, oh I believe into it but I don't really care about it, or like what's your like take on it?
It's a little bit of both. Just to like circle back on your original conspiracy about like people listening, or no, people or the government or whatever listening on us. Like, I can take a
Yeah.
step up from that. Like, I've, I'm not the only one. I bet there's people out there listening that are like, they've thought about something, and then all of a sudden they'll go on their phone and be like, "Oh my god,
Mm.
I
Just
didn't
say
look it up. I didn't text it. I didn't message it. I didn't do anything, but it popped up. Like it's saying, because we'll stick with the beans because
it.
Jonathan loves beans. So
Yeah, I love
Right.
beans.
I get it. You get a bean ad on your phone. You're like, oh my god, I was just thinking about the beans, and now I'm getting advertisements because of beans. But when it
That,
comes to like
yeah.
conspiracy theories, I'm all up for it, right? Like I'm super open minded, so I'm all like, if there's enough buy-in, or I'm always open to, like, it's a possibility, right? We don't control
Mhm.
things. Like, there could be
Yeah.
people listening, there could be people watching me right now. I'm like waving my hands around and everything. People, hello, person watching me. But
Yeah, like the little FBI agent, yeah.
yeah. But you never know. You never know. So I don't know. I'm not gonna like say yes or no. It's just like, it is what it is. If people watching, they watching. But I'm not gonna
Mm.
you know do anything different from that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like, what can you do? Like all this stuff's like already set up in your house, like like your TV or like a video camera for like recording stuff. Like it's already set up, and people know about it, but at the same time, it's like, well, what can we do about it? We can't really like take apart your TV and like take out the little camera or anything. I think it's going way overboard, but I mean, we just kind of have to live with it, I guess, huh? I never really thought about it that
Mm.
way, which in a
Yeah.
way is weird, but I don't know. What can I do? I can't like
Yeah.
do all that stuff to make everything safe. That'd be way too much, and I probably be looked at as a crazy person, doing that stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I think with conspiracy theories, I think there was one that you mentioned, Lena, about what was the name? I think there was one you talked about that I haven't heard before. It was a conspiracy theory with like someone's name. I don't know what you were mentioning about something like Diana or something like that. I don't know if you know
Said
what I'm talking
someone's
about.
name. No, I said about the Denver airport. That
That's what it was.
one.
Sorry, Denver.
That
I was
one,
like D. I was like C.
I have
Yeah.
never heard of that one, the conspiracy before.
Yeah,
That
I'd be
one is
interested. Yeah.
crazy. There's like a lot of different things that like feed into it as to like yeah, like the whole thing was saying that it was like built by the Illuminati because there's like a whole bunch of like
Oh, okay.
different things
Yeah,
like
yeah.
inside of the airport that's like really creepy. Like they have like all of these like murals of like everyone holding hands, but like there's like fire behind them and like
Hail.
explosion.
Oh yeah, what
Alright.
the hell?
Oh
Right, I
my
can't imagine
god.
going to an airport and being like, "Oh, I can't wait to get on this plane," and then I see a mural of children holding hands and explosions behind them.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
Puts my mind at
And then
ease when I'm going on a plane.
Yeah.
right, I love that. I love that for myself. And then there's like this giant, like huge, ginormous statue of like a horse, like in front of the airport. But like it has like glowing red eyes, and people are like,
What the
"What in
heck?
the world? Like, why does it look like that?" And then they're like, "No, like it just looks like that. Like it's nothing." But then when they were, I think either when they were constructing it or when they were trying to move it from like the artist's like house to the location, it fell and it fell on the artist that made it, and it killed him.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what else? Oh, there's like a bunch of different like layers to the airport, but like there's like a bunch of like underground levels. Like you know how they say like at Disneyland and Disney World, like they have like secret tunnels to like
Mhm.
get from one
Yeah.
area. Yeah, and so you're like, oh, okay, well that's fine. But then there's like a bunch of different levels to like underneath the Denver airport, and then people are like, like no one has ever even been down there, or they have been down there, but it's like super secret. Like what's down there? Like why there's like 5 different levels or something like under the
Yeah.
ground. And what else?
All right,
There's like
well,
another like what happened?
listeners, if you guys are listening, if we go missing next week, it was the Illuminati. All right, guys, just
Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
just
If
we
they
might
get me,
be at
you
the
guys know
Well,
why. Right?
we might be at the Denver airport.
just
Just come find us, please.
it's just a theory. It's just a theory because yeah, even like the Denver airport themselves have like played into it, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, like it's us, like we're part of the Illuminati or whatever." And they're like, "No." And then what was it? What did I tell you earlier, Jorge, that I said about what? Oh, there's like gargoyles or whatever, like around the airport or something,
Oh,
and
what
they
the
look
Oh,
heck?
super
yeah.
creepy too. And then they're like, "Oh no, like it's just they're nice gargoyles. Like they're so happy to greet you into the
Huh.
airport." And I'm like,
What?
and no,
Yeah,
but
you're like,
yeah,
I don't know
I
about
think
that.
right. I'm like, I don't see myself traveling to the Denver airport anytime soon. If I see any kind of like a layover or whatever, like in Denver, like I would just be like, no, I'm just gonna fly, just fly straight to the next destination. Or yeah, I don't want to go near that airport. Sounds pretty spooky.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 'cause I think you mentioned Disney. I think Sunny was telling me about it. If it was like a conspiracy theory or not, where yeah, I think the movie Frozen was like I got a kind of
Oh
like a
yes, yeah, I heard
ploy.
about.
Yeah, or like, you know how
Yeah.
people believed in like Walt Disney's like head being frozen underneath like Disney World or whatever. I guess
Mm-hmm.
Disney apparently allegedly this is just a conspiracy theory where like
Mm-hmm.
I guess they made the movie Frozen and it's like a whole big thing, whole big movie. They promoted the hell out of it because they wanted people who were searching that stuff, you know, Disney, Walt Disney Frozen, whatever, to kind of
Mm-hmm.
have the movie Frozen pop up on on the search results rather than like the whole Walt Disney Frozen under like underneath the park kind of head thing. So like I guess
Yeah.
people believe that's like a thing that was done on purpose, which I feel like I'm inclined to believe it because I don't know because it was like a whole thing before the movie and then they do this movie like they do kind of do it now and then it's like well where's all like the search results and everything, you know, it's kind of skewed in a
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah. It's
I
skewed
believe
to
it.
the movie. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
believe
agree.
it.
I don't know about Frozen being a cover up, but I totally believe. I still think he's frozen somewhere. Like he,
Yeah,
he's
right.
he's he's in he's in Disneyland somewhere. They got him somewhere, and they're just waiting for that right time. They're gonna be like, you know what? Now's the time. People need some extra joy in their life. We got to bring back this man. Bring him
Yeah.
back
Oh my
from the frozen
gosh.
times.
That would be crazy. Although I would love for Walt Disney to come back. I would love to meet Walt Disney, Frozen or not. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just roll out the ice cube with them in it. Just
Right.
take a
Right.
picture with them.
Oh my gosh.
I think I'm not sure how many Disney conspiracy theories are out there. I know that was one of them that kind of came to mind. Um,
Mm,
I don't know if you know more about that, Lena, because I know like you're a very avid Disney fan. I mean, so am I, but
mm,
I haven't gone in a while. But I think I think there was another one with what is it called? That It's a Small World. I think I heard about that conspiracy theory where like there's like a little person, you know how like there's people and all these little animatronics and stuff like that. I guess like so that there's like allegedly there's like a little conspiracy theory like about someone dying during the ride and now the spirit haunts that ride. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people say and I'm like, okay.
I don't know about the hauntings at It's a Small World. I've heard of, yeah, definitely hauntings like at the Haunted Mansion, just because
Oh,
people are like,
okay.
oh, like since it already has like that feel of like, oh, all the ghosts and everything, people like I don't even think that's like a conspiracy theory at this point. Like people bring their ashes like
Oh,
to
really?
Oh my
Disneyland and
god.
I
they
didn't
just
know
start,
that, huh?
yeah, they just dump them like in front of the ride and then yeah.
That's a
So that
healthy
way they're
concern.
Yeah, it
oh
is a
well
That's a
yeah,
healthy
healthy
that's why
concern.
concern.
well, that's why Disney has all their cameras and everything. And so when they see someone dumping ashes, they unfortunately have to sweep up the person's ashes.
Right?
Oh
Oh
no.
no. And then
Bring
Oh,
throw them
out
in the
the
trash.
Dyson vacuum.
oh
Yeah,
man, that's
same
Oh
here.
my
sucks.
gosh. That's so yep, that's pretty sad. But the one about It's a Small World, I don't think that one's a theory either anymore. Actually, I think they said that it was true that at
Oh, was it
night
confirmed?
the one about yeah the one I'm thinking about It's a Small World is that I think they like turn off the lights or whatever, but they don't turn off the like animatronics, like they have to leave them moving like all the time,
Oh.
all like at night and everything, because they're so old, like the machines are like so old that like if they were to like power them down, like it takes too much like out of them to like restart it again. so
Oh,
so,
okay.
so they just like leave them running like all throughout the night, like they cut the music, they cut like the lights I think, but they're still like moving around.
Oh
Oh my
god.
gosh, that is pretty creepy though. Eee.
Wait, because I remember, because I remember I like I remember like I watched on YouTube and I had like that one late night where I just like watched creepy
Mm.
stuff. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy theory, but I remember it was like this one photo someone took at like um It's a Small World, but there's like I guess there was like a child or something like flying up, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is
Mhm.
that people were saying that there's, like, no animatronics up there, you know what I mean?
Mm.
There's not a lot, like, of, like, the little, like, kids animatronics flying around, right? And so,
Mhm.
Mhm.
like, to this day, people don't know what that is, you
Mhm.
know? Some people
Okay.
think, like, "Oh, it's probably a ghost," or maybe, like, a kid hanged himself, you know? Yeah, so it was, like, that type of thing, but I wouldn't say it's the conspiracy theory, it's more like a little, like, haunted, like, little scary story,
Little
you know?
scary story,
Oh,
right? Maybe
scary.
it was probably just like what's it called? Yeah, not like a hoax, I guess. It's like a fake image, you know? Like yeah, like I've seen
Photoshop.
the photo. Yeah, Photoshop, that's what it is. I think
Oh,
it's
okay,
Mhm.
just
okay.
Photoshop. It's like the one with in the Wizard of Oz where they're like, "Oh, there's a munchkin like hanging from the ceiling or
No.
whatever." Or what is it? No, not a munchkin. The munchkins are from Charlie and the Chocolate
Um,
Factory.
Who
Like is like
knows?
dwarfs
Oompa
and like
Loompa. No, that's
No, that's the Charlie from the Chocolate
that's
Chocolate,
that's
Travis
Chocolate
Scott.
whatever.
Yeah,
Factory.
yeah.
Oompa
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you were
Loompa.
right.
maybe it was a munchkin.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
was
was
a
a
munchkin,
munchkin.
yeah. It's crazy.
Like,
Oh,
oops.
but all this stuff is reminding me that we need to do a podcast where we talk about creepy pastas because those are my favorite. I
Ooh,
love talking about
oh
creepy
yeah.
pasta.
I love
Oh, oh my
creepypastas.
god. Reminds me of my high school years.
Right?
Just going down the rabbit hole looking for scary stuff.
Yeah.
No, yeah. What other conspiracy theories have you guys like heard about?
Well, I think Jorge, you mentioned Bigfoot. Would that be a
Yeah.
conspiracy theory, or would that be like a
No.
haunted theory? Because I don't even know
Nah, that's
anymore.
just
I'm like,
a crazy mythological whatever. I don't know. But
I think that
there's
would
actually
classify.
two different other conspiracies that I had thought about. The first one was the Earth being flat, right? Like,
Oh
come
yeah.
on, let's really like if you think of there. There's an argument to both, right? Like I said, I believe the Earth is round, but there's a possibility that it could be flat, right? Like, like if you think about it, you don't see the water falling off of the Earth, right? If it was round,
hmm
Mhm.
I know there's gravity and all that nonsense, that
Yeah,
people talk about. Because
gravity.
gravity, right? It's so strong. How does that
Gravity.
work? That doesn't work. So it's like, how is the water not just like falling off the edge or whatever? If it's rounded, so it just
Yeah.
float right off. Or like, you know, yeah, how does that work? How does that even work?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've always thought that that one was fascinating just because, yeah, if it is like round, like how come we don't see the curve, Like wouldn't like mountains or whatever also start looking like lopsided or whatever? Like if it was on a curve? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, like I have no idea. And like I personally can't go into space myself because I have bad I get too dizzy, so they can't send me to space. So I cannot see for myself.
It's like
But I'm
Yeah.
sure.
when you're flying in the air, right? You're just flying straight. It doesn't seem like the plane's curving at an angle, or when you're walking down the road, you're not like walking at a funny angle, or I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
Obviously it's not super curved, but like I don't know. I just there's a possibility, right?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Especially, yeah, like when you said the flying thing. Yeah, I figured, especially if you're going, yeah, from here to like Korea or something, like wouldn't you see some kind of curve, or something? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
no, because I think like what Hora was saying, yeah, because I do also believe the Earth is round, but I think there's some like questions that people, I guess, who are flat earthers that believe that Earth is flat, they kind of I think there's one of the points they were making is I guess during the 1950s or even now, I'm not even sure, but even now, where like when people travel to like through Antarctica or like through the north and south poles of Earth, I guess for some reason there's like government stuff there, like it's like restricted. You can't go there apparently,
Mm.
and people are like, oh, why can't we go here? It's like a thing we want. It's like I guess you could say monument that people want to explore, to like get for photos and stuff like that. But for some reason, that area is like off limits, and then people reported saying like, oh yeah, I tried to go to the North Pole for funsies because like Christmas is coming up. I want to go see Santa, whatever, right? And there's like government people are like, oh, you can't go here. It's like restricted, and then people are saying, well, why is that? Maybe they're trying to like hide the fact that Earth is really flat, or like that's what they at least claim. People who are from the Flat Earth Society, that's like, oh yeah, there's something there. Something's very like suspicious, or I guess sus nowadays. People say it's very sus
So,
that a lot of like, stuff over there is restricted. So I mean, like, hey, I mean, that could be true. I mean, why is it kind of stuff over there like the North and South Pole is like restricted? Who knows? I mean, we
Mm.
may never know because a lot of stuff are like it's guarded or restricted. So yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well,
whether it's round or flat, that's your guys' opinion. Like, you
yeah,
guys do you guys and ladies out there listening. You guys, if you all believe if it's flat or round, like we're all cool with it.
Right, yeah, I'm like, it could go either way. I have
no
no
judgment
opinion.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but
Mm.
I want Jorge to bring up the other one that he wanted to talk about because that one's one of my
Oh.
favorite theories too.
Yes,
oh, I'm
the that
excited.
we never landed on the moon. All right, we never did it.
Yeah,
It's a
we never
lie.
landed
Uh,
on the
Mm.
moon.
I'm like, I don't believe it. Like, okay, like how can the technology that we had back in the day compare to the technology we have now? Like, how can we not make it now? That's crazy. With everything
Mm.
that we have, like all the solar stuff and all these like high tech technology, how can we not get back to the moon? What?
all right.
Yeah,
I don't.
that
That's
I
a good
yeah,
question.
yeah. Ever since they said they're like, oh, we can't get back to the moon. And it's like, well, how come we can't get to the moon, but we're trying so hard to get to Mars? Like, what did you guys do when you were at the moon that we
Right.
can't go back? Like, obviously, like we can go back, but we're not allowed to go back because someone did something on the moon. If we're
Maybe there's
going,
something
yeah,
on the moon.
Well,
Right?
I've
Maybe
also
there's
heard that
something on the
Ooh.
the
moon.
moon's not even there anymore. It blew up because we did something. That was the other one. Like it's just, you know how they say like a star burns out. They're just saying like the moon just burned it. Like it's gone. It's just there. But that wouldn't make sense for the people that are spherical Earth people because then gravity's gone. So what happened there,
Yeah.
guys?
Right.
I
I've
don't
also
know.
seen that. Yeah, like the moon is like a
It's a
hologram.
projection.
Yes.
It's a projection. I heard that too, but I don't believe that. It's just no.
Yeah, I feel like no, yeah, I feel like we did something. There's something on the moon that we are just not allowed to go back, or we just don't want to go back because there's something on the moon that we're like, you know what? We're gonna I'm just gonna stay away from the moon now. We'll just start going to Mars now because no more moon stuff here. Like all those crazy movies where they say like, oh, like there's aliens there and stuff. So like maybe there's aliens on the moon, and that's why we can't go back because it's inhabited by
Giant
aliens.
spider alien thingies.
Giant
Yeah.
spiders, yep. Whatever it is. I like that. I like that theory of like there's more than just us on the world. I like
Oh, I
thinking
believe
that
it.
there's.
Like, do you
Yeah.
believe that theory of like, I saw this one, it was on TikTok. It was like dumb, but it was like
There are
it's
no
like
dumb theories.
Yeah. Lay it
yeah,
on
but
us,
like
Sunny.
I just thought it was funny where it was like it's like what happens if we humans are the aliens?
Oh, like we're the only like
Oh.
we're aliens instead of like
Like
us being
I wouldn't be
normal, I guess.
surprised. I would.
yeah,
Right.
like think about it. Like maybe we're
Yeah.
the aliens. Like we're the weird ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, to them, we probably would be the aliens because they probably think that they look normal, and then they see us, and they're like, "Ugh."
Or
Yeah,
wait,
like
or like do you believe that like think about it, like because you know how like oh aliens, right? But like aliens are kind of a human creation. We don't really know
okay.
what aliens really look like because humans create aliens. You mean like from any science fiction, like Star Wars, Star Trek, any franchise that's science fiction, they always create aliens as like technically and all insecty, but like
Mhm.
we really don't know what aliens look like. They could just look like humans like us too, but on a different planet. Or they can look something else, but we just don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that theory as well. That we are living amongst aliens. Like there are
Mm.
aliens like on Earth already, and we just don't know it because yeah, they look just like us, or they're able to morph into looking like regular people or regular we think that we
Yeah.
all look normal or whatever, so they all just like blend in so that way they just fit in with society, but in reality they are actually not from here and stuff. So yeah,
I don't know.
that's
For
pretty
me,
cool.
I feel like there's other humans in the universe. You mean?
Yeah.
Like like different types of like different aliens. Is that what you mean?
No, I feel like aliens, like the aliens that we know, like on
Mm.
TV or television, like basically what people created. I believe those aren't real. I believe humans. I feel like there is other humans on other planets. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I
Mm.
see. I see.
Mhm.
But we just don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying like there's probably another Earth or like a planet that acts like Earth, but we just
Mhm.
don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Okay.
because the universe is
It's
just so
huge.
big. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like there could be an Earth called I don't know, like Xenon, but it acts like Earth. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
Mm.
water, there's air, there's rock, but we just don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, do you
Okay.
all believe that there are like different like multiverse, like how Marvel is doing their whole multiverse thing? Like, do you all believe that there is such thing as a multiverse, or there are different universes for us?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, because I like what Sunny was saying, like having like us like the Earth we know and like having like another Earth that's like what Xeon that's like almost exactly like Earth but different. I
Mhm.
think it's not too far fetched from the multiverse theory where like I think people are saying we live in our timeline. So like maybe there's another timeline with every decision kind of breaking off and having a
Mm.
different timeline. So like I guess I see on the internet a lot like the meme culture where they're like, oh my God, I don't know if you guys remember Harambe, you know that gorilla from the Cincinnati Zoo. People are
Yeah.
saying like when Harambe obviously got put down at the zoo and like, oh yeah, Harambe's gone. People are saying, oh yeah, that's when the timeline became broke and whatever, and like maybe there's a timeline where the gorilla survived and everything's all hunky dory and good, nothing bad happened. But then we got
Mm.
the timeline where we're like, oh, like gas prices are high and like COVID happened, all that stuff. Like I guess we're the bad ending timelines, what people are saying on
Oh
the
Oh
internet.
my
no,
So
god.
bad endings.
so I guess we're living on
Yikes.
the
Right.
bad ending timeline, and it's like I don't know, it's kind of funny to think about, but I mean it's not too far fetched because I believe in like different theories because like what if there's like a timeline where like we either exist kind of the same but different, so like maybe what if I don't know, living in some random country, I'm not like living here and I live in like another country, or what if I go to space in one timeline, or what if like I don't know, I'm born with like red hair and one another time, like who knows, there's like different
Yeah.
timelines that can coexist, which is crazy to think about. I believe it for sure. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely believe it. I just think it's, I guess, a little scary to believe that like
Hmm.
there's like a bajillion like different me's. I'm like, I can only handle like one of me. I can't
Yeah.
imagine there being like a whole
Same.
bunch of me's being like in different universes and stuff. Like that just sounds so crazy. But yeah, but yeah, I do believe that there are different universes and stuff. I don't know if we
Same, same,
will
same.
ever like, yeah, like get to a point
Mhm.
where we can see it or whatever, you know.
Yeah, because I think there's one kind of like it's kind of random, but also kind of on the topic where like with different like aliens or like human beings. I think another popular one that people kind of throw out there is like we're living amongst like I think reptilian people. I think that's what me and Sunny's mom kind of talks about sometimes. Just I don't know if she's joking or if she's serious, but it's funny because she's like, yeah, all the influential people or all the presidents or all the famous people are all like reptilians just wearing like these like little human
They're
masks
snakes.
and yeah, they're trying to like blend in, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I mean I definitely believe like there's something going on there, like people how people talk about some like famous singers like selling their souls to like I don't know, the devil to like become famous
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
There's a few of
I heard about
those.
that
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, like that's
that
where I
was.
think the term "dance with the devil" comes out and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. That's something that's going on there, I
I've
think.
heard a few.
Mm, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I heard that too, but I remember it sounded more sad too. It's like they didn't really they basically said that they did sell their soul to the devil, but not the devil you're thinking about. Not like, like Satan and like the mystical beast, whatever. They're saying
Hmm.
that the devil is basically the person who owns them, the record label.
Oh. Oh, okay. More
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
symbolic. Okay.
yeah, because like, when because think about it, if you have power, money, influence, you're basically God in the society. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you
Mm,
have the amount of money you have in the world and power, you can do anything you want, even dark illegal stuff. You know what I mean? Which is the scary part.
mm,
Because the thing is that, like, because that person is, real. I'm not saying, like, well, I don't know, I'm not saying, like, the devil's not real, like, I believe in Jesus, but, like, it's just like, he's
Jesus.
right there, like the
Yeah.
record label owner is right there breathing, you know what I mean?
mm.
And so,
Yeah.
it's just scary when I heard someone said that, like, yeah, they did sell their soul to the devil, but not the devil you're thinking about, you
Oh,
know?
okay. I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
So yeah, and so
Yeah.
I feel like that is true. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you want to be popular or you want to be successful, I feel like you have to sacrifice yourself, like everything about you to
Yeah, like
that
morals and
person.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and I feel like
Mm.
that's what it means. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
But then
yeah.
again, people always like symbolize something. Like for example, like I remember there's one theory where like Katy Perry, like in the very early 2000s, she started a music career, but it was for Christian music
mm,
and it wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't becoming famous, like she wasn't nothing was happening. But then she signed, I forgot with what record label, but she signed a record label with a popular record label and her first hit song was I Kissed a Girl.
mm,
And,
Okay.
in the Bible, kissing someone of the same gender is seen as kind of like diabolical, right? You know what
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
mean? And so that's why people were like, maybe it is true. Maybe she signed her soul to the devil, and that's how she became big. Because that's how she got famous, was because of that song, like "I Kissed a Girl."
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, and so I was like, I mean, that does make a little sense, but I don't know. I feel like, and also same thing with Doja Cat, like, you know what I mean? Like, her song "Say So" was blew up everywhere, and you see
Mm.
Doja now all like not herself, like she got a bald head and she like
She got a
is
bald
dressing
head. Oh god.
she's dressing all weird, like, you know what I mean? She's not herself anymore, and so, like, people are, like, worried about her, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Oh,
so I
okay.
was like, "Oh my god," you know? So, I just believe it's the rec people or the people up higher in power than her that controls her,
Mhm.
Yeah.
make her turn into, like, kind of, like, soulless in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like the Britney Spears incident for people who like for all the viewers who don't know who like Doja Cat is. I mean, maybe you do, I don't know. But yeah, like the Britney Spears can kind of compare it to that, where like I think she shaved her head and had like a whole thing going on and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
think
I
I
heard
remember
Yeah.
seeing
that
that
was a
maybe.
cover up for something else. Apparently, that was going on in the world. I don't know what was going on. I read that somewhere. They're like, oh yeah, like Britney Spears shaved her head because something else was going on in the world that they had to have this huge distraction, and that was the big distraction that they needed. They needed Britney to shave her head off and look crazy for a while because it was covering up some kind of
Okay.
U.S. government thing that was happening or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
I
Oh,
heard that too.
wow.
Yeah, something about something the president did at that time, like they were making some kind of deal or something. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but yeah.
crazy, right? I mean, neither. I just, let's see. Now we gotta
Yeah, especially 'cause
cover our bases
I was
here.
too
This
young.
U.S. government, guys. Everyone listening again. If we go missing,
Oh my god.
My God.
Right?
It's
You,
a
you know
theory,
you were
it's
thinking
guys.
It's
like
a
it's either
theory.
the
It's a
Theory.
it's
theory.
either the
It's a
Illuminati or the
theory.
government. It's either
everyone's out to get us.
It's like, it's a
Oh my
theory, guys.
gosh.
It's a theory.
It's a
so there you
theory.
go.
Just
A
It's
saying.
getting a little warm
theory.
in here. It's getting
Yeah. Yeah,
Gosh.
but I think so, yeah, because I think going back to like I think celebrities, I think have you guys heard about the theory where I think certain celebrities are like either dead or gone missing and they got like some look-alike, like almost exactly like them to like put them in place. So I think for example, one that
Avril
comes to mind,
Lavigne.
yeah, Avril Lavigne, I was
Yes.
gonna say that. Yeah, like they people believe that like she's gone or she died or they took her away somewhere and like they had to replace her, so they got some look-alike. And I guess people have been like super analyzing like her music videos like from where she when she started to like where she is now, and like people found some differences like with her voice, with like certain parts of her face, like her nose being like a little longer than like original like Avril Lavigne. And I'm just like, whoa, like it's like a whole
Also
thing,
her
it's crazy.
handwriting.
crazy.
Yeah, her handwriting's different too, so people are like, oh, like something's going there, something's a little suspicious over there, you know.
I don't
So
know. That's crazy because, like, how long can they, like, I guess, like, not hide, but, like, I guess mimic the original person? Like, I always wonder that. Like, are they gonna be forever that person? You
maybe,
know?
I
who
believe
Yeah.
it. Like
knows.
apparently, well, I think they did the same thing with people were saying they did the same thing with Elvis. Like he had died like years before he died the second time around. Apparently, so
Really, what
apparently there
the
was
heck?
another Elvis before this ending Elvis, and they're like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh forget it, this one died again. So we'll just call him off. So
Yeah, yeah, no,
Why'd they
with
have
that.
to kill him off on the toilet though? That's just mean.
That's sad.
That's
That's
another
that's
thing
sad.
about Elvis. Yeah, because like
yeah.
I get confused of how he died. Because some people say he died on the toilet because of like I don't know digestive problems, whatever. But some people say he died from drugs. And I keep hearing like the two things, and I'm not sure which is right. It's like weird. I don't know. It's like if it's like a Mandela effect or something. Because like I see people like, oh no, yeah, he died using some sort of drug, whatever. But then people are like, no, he died on the toilet. So I'm like, I don't know which one is right. Like I don't know if that's like a Mandela effect or not. Yeah, because I hear two different things when it comes to Elvis's death, but I don't know. It could be just another conspiracy theory.
Right, another conspiracy theory.
We'll never know what's out
We'll
Yeah, we'll never
never
there.
know.
know.
Which is creepy. Yeah, because there's a
Mhm.
lot of like theories that I think seen. Like I think people say that the like another one that I'm kind of throwing out there, the Titanic didn't sink. Like nothing happened. Like the Titanic never sunk. It was like another boat that people say.
Yeah.
I think it was like what the Olympic
The
Olympia.
Olympus, the
Mm.
the Olympia or like the Olympus.
Yeah, or
Was
like
one of
the
those.
Olympic or something like that. Because
Yeah.
I guess people say, yeah, was that ship, not the Titanic? And I'm like, oh, but they made a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's the whole thing. So like people are like, no, that was the Titanic. So I don't know what to believe anymore. Like I'm like, well, I don't know.
I
So this
mean,
whole thing is a lie.
it
You
could
could be a
it could
lie.
it could be a misstep, like a like because like it was so long ago, like and recording history was like not that like I guess easy,
Hmm.
and so maybe like it was probably something wrong in history, but they just rolled with it, you know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think that was that long ago, though, wasn't it? I mean, we have stories from like even further back. Like, how was it that one story that was? Cause wasn't that like in the 1900s? It was. I wasn't like in the 1800s, was it?
I
It was like
think
early
so.
1900s, like 1910, 1912.
If it really happened, don't you think we would have read it in our history books though? I don't remember reading anything about the Titanic. I think that would be pretty symbolic. Like like like
I
that was a
only knew
big
about it.
boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only knew about it because of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I
something that
never.
big, it's so
Yeah.
weird.
No,
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
think I'm doing a fact check right now. I think it sunk in 1912, and between April 14 and April
I
15.
was
That's what it
right.
says, according to Google.
Mm.
So yeah, it was 1912 is when it happened, and oh, you also mentioned history books, Jorge. I think there's another conspiracy about that, where a lot of people believe the history books written are altered, or I guess whoever, I guess there's like a saying for it too, like whoever wins the war, whoever wins whatever, they get to write the history. So I guess people say a lot of the history that is in our textbooks is either off like news or like information that's like fake or or altered in some way, which I mean I guess I could see believing, depending on who wrote it or who's behind it, but I don't know, because a lot of people who teach history like in the history books, like the like history teachers say like, oh, everything's all like fact correct or like objectively true, but some people say like that's not the case. But I don't know, what do you guys think
Mm.
about that? Do you guys think history books are a bunch of nonsense? Or what do you guys
Oh,
think?
well, see, if we're gonna go with history books, I'm gonna take it even further and
Okay.
say that stories from the Bible aren't all factual. If
Okay.
one,
Yeah,
if one believes it, if one believes like all the
Whoa.
stories in the Bible are factual, I'm like, me personally, I don't think they're all factual. Like
yeah. Yeah,
some things like I think are either just metaphorical. Like who was it? Someone was talking to a burning bush. Like who be talking to a burning bush? That sounds a
yeah.
little crazy. And then
Crazy. No, okay.
and it's crazy.
Okay.
And then
Moses.
people say like, oh, like Jesus said this or whatever. Like Jesus be saying that he wants us to love our neighbors, but at the same time they're all like, nah, but Jesus said I don't like the gays, and I'm like, where? Where did it
Wait,
say that?
where's Jesus at?
Like
We gotta interview
show me
Jesus
that
one of these
line.
times.
Right? I'm all like, y'all said to love all your neighbors and be nice to everybody, but at the same breath, you want me to tell
They're
me
like
that,
cherry picking.
yeah. And I'm like, that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Why would Jesus say one thing and mean another? Like that, it makes no sense. That's like, yeah, that's why I think that as time
That's
has
not my
gone on,
Jesus.
people.
That's not.
That's not
I
my
think,
Jesus.
right. I think people have like rewritten the Bible, and that's why it's skewed as to like when, yeah, for sure, yeah. So
Yeah, because
if
like
the history books are wrong, then I think yeah, the Bible
Yeah.
is
Oh,
too.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
no, yeah, because I remember like for example, I remember like in high school we learned about like the Salem witch trials, like what I mean, like the Puritan era, right? And
Mm.
like at that time there wasn't really a government. Like the only person that was I guess governing was like the Reverend. You mean like
Mm.
the I guess like I think that's like what like a modern priest or whatever.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times they basically just get to do whatever, you know,
Mm.
in the name of like, Jesus, and I just thought that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like that lady is a witch because she knows how to times two or something, like, or
Yeah.
like she knows how to read, like, oh my
Right,
god,
she
she's a
can
witch.
read.
Oh my
She's a
Read.
god.
witch.
Burn
You know what I
her,
mean?
burn.
Yeah. I'm just
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
saying.
and
well
like
didn't you see that too? That like the Salem, like the witch trials, like didn't even like they happened, but like they didn't burn the people. Like they instead they
no.
like yeah, I thought I read that somewhere that they're like no, like they didn't actually get burned. I think like maybe like two people got burned, but like it wasn't like a recurring thing that like oh if you see a witch or something like they instantly would like get burned. But I don't know
Oh.
Oh.
that. But yeah, that's what I thought I had heard somewhere.
Oh, that sounds
Oh, I
like
never heard
a
about that.
conspiracy.
Oh,
Oh
hey,
my
hey.
god. No,
Oh,
but I never heard about that. I thought like I mean, I didn't really think they were like killing like women left and right every second, but like I thought
Mm,
like there was like
like a lot of
I
it
thought
happened.
not a lot of it happened, but I feel like there was like, maybe like 2 to 4 women that were burned and it like, burning someone burning 4 people is like kind of a big event already, you know what I
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
mean? That like maybe that's why they call it the witch trials or the witch hunt because like of how like impressionable the event was. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But I
Yeah.
think they weren't killing women left and right like,
Yeah.
because of that. Because I feel like I think it was like I feel because it was at a point of history where women were kind of like, I guess done being like seen as like just like a second class person. You mean like, oh,
Yeah.
you're just a woman. You just bear kids and clean or whatever, right?
Mm.
And so
Mm,
I feel like I think at that time we were just kind of like, you know what? I can read, I can do math. I'm like I'm a person, but then like they were
mm.
like, no, you're not a person. You're a woman and you're a witch. You mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
I feel
And they
like
use
these
that.
yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like these women just rebelled against society and they were just seen as witch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm,
Oh, okay.
Because like think about it, there at that time there wasn't really a society, there wasn't really a government, right? It was
yeah.
like it was just religion.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
That's an
like they
interesting way to
basically
look at
used
it.
Yeah.
yeah, they basically used like fear to
Mm,
like, I guess unrebel them. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like if like oh if
Yeah.
other women like just so you know if other women like you do that, you're a witch. You mean? But you're not. But like I guess it's just fear. They just used fear.
Mm,
You mean?
Oh, that's interesting you say that. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
feel a lot of people say like that's being done today with a lot of things too, with conspiracy theories, like with fear being like the main driving force of like how people act and stuff like that. Like, do you guys remember how like there was like no toilet paper like in stores for like almost a week? I don't know how long because
Uh,
people were going crazy and
mm.
buying all the toilet
Yeah.
paper.
Oh my gosh,
Which
yes.
is yeah, which I think like what like Sonny was saying, like I think fear was used before and it's still being used now, I want to say, which is crazy to think about because
Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, who really knows? Because there's a lot of shady stuff being done behind the scenes, like we don't know. I think you mentioned, Sonny, that like religion was kind of the driving factor with the Reverend kind of being the government. And I think even
Mhm.
the government themselves, I think they want us to like kind of say like, oh, government and religion are separate, or like there's a saying for it. Like I think state and religion are separate, but then people are
Mm,
saying, well, if that's the case, like why is like I think if anyone has like a dollar bill on hand, I think on the back of the dollar bill it says "In God We Trust" and on
mm.
our currency. But it's like if religion and government was separate, why is it on like our currency and stuff like that? Why it's still like integrated in that kind of stuff, which is kind of interesting to kind of think about. Because is it really separated? Makes you kind of wonder, you know?
I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because like it's just this. Oh my god,
What
it
the?
scared me. Okay. Anyway, as I
Yeah.
was saying, I guess maybe because it was just a phrase. You know how old people talk back in the day? They're like, "May God bless you." I feel like it's just
Yeah.
a phrase. I don't
Yeah.
think they mean it
Yeah.
literally, like in God we trust. You know what I mean? I feel like it was just a phrase. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, but like, but yeah, because I feel like because like Christianity is like really super like strong and influence here, especially in America. So I guess it's hard to separate religion and
Mm-hmm.
state. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like especially because think about it especially when you're raised in such a religious household, that's the only thing you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I feel like that's why like there's like a lot of crazy religious people in our country because it's just like it's just it's just because there's a lot because people believe in Christianity,
Yeah,
but like
no,
I just
it
hate.
was the norm. It was the norm back
Mhm.
then. So yeah.
I just see how people teach them in a bad way, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think like you mentioned women, Sunny. I think I mean this is like I think a conspiracy theory that people kind of know about. Amelia Earhart, the first woman pilot to sail like fly around the world, and I guess people say that crabs ate her, and then that was the end of her. But I'm not sure. Not sure if that was the case.
Upstater.
Yeah, but I know
I think
people
she
say
just
she
got
got
tired of
lost.
people, and then she just took off. She's like, "Forget these people, man. I'm out of here." She landed
Oh,
on
that's true.
in Australia or some other country, and she was like, "I'm done with these people." So she just landed over there, lived a happy life, and was like, "Forget it."
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's a possibility. Yeah, she could
I
like maybe
mean
just said screw it and live somewhere else, like a secret life. You never know.
I low-key agree because I feel like in that time it was kinda hard to find people, you
Hmm.
know?
Mm.
You didn't really have, like, people's location and all that, you know what I mean? So she could have, like, just went, like, into hiding,
And
you
lived a
know?
life, huh?
or
Yeah.
or she was
Or
also
people
a part of the Illuminati.
Oh,
Who
she
No,
knew
knows?
no,
something.
no, no. I will accept no slander against our queen, Amelia
Leah
Earhart.
Earhart.
Queen. No, I will not accept that slander. Not here.
Not Miss Earhart. Mhm.
Right now, Miss Earhart. We won't do that to
Alright.
her.
Yeah. But I
yeah, 'cause
remember, like oh, sorry.
Oh no, no, she's fine. I mean, you're
I
fine.
know. Okay. No, but I remember, like, wasn't there, like, recent, like, information about her and then, like, saying that they like, found her plane underwater or something, and it's just because she just died.
Yeah,
I
I think that's
think
like the
so.
main theory that, like, yeah, like she
Mhm.
just crashed and then that was it. And then they just couldn't find her.
Yeah, and they just added the crabs there for funsies, I guess. Yeah, because that's a lot of people say. Like, what?
I've never heard that crabs thing. What in the
Yeah,
world?
I guess it was like these giant man-eating crabs that were just there on the island that she happened to land on, or like at least land near it. But
I also
I
had
don't
heard that
know about that.
she flew into the Bermuda Triangle and that was it. Like somehow
Oh,
Huh,
she found
I
it.
heard that too. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Maybe
Somehow
then
that
she
was
yeah,
the
was
cause of
Bermuda
flying,
it.
hit it,
Triangle.
and she was gone.
Oh my god. Wait, speaking of Bermuda Triangle, do you guys believe it's, like, some sort of, like, mystical place or, like, I don't know, alien? Like, why is it, like, so like? Because I heard apparently if any ship or plane goes into it, they just end up missing or, like, it just goes haywire.
I
it
believe it. I believe it.
yeah.
Yeah, I also
It
believe because if we have black holes right in space, what makes you think that there
mm,
isn't like some kind of version of that in the ocean, right? Because like the ocean and space are as much as they seem different, I think they're pretty alike.
Oh,
mhm.
no, yeah, I have, honestly, I have, like, a phobia of, like, the ocean because, like, you don't know what's under there,
Oh,
you
same.
know?
Oh my God, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because,
Hell
like,
no.
didn't scientists say, like, they, like, explored more space than in the ocean?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
we've only
Yeah.
explored like 3% of the ocean or something. Something it's like
Yeah.
really
Just
small and I'm
3%?
like it was something really small like that, yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh my
how is that
God.
even possible that we've only explored like 3% of the ocean? All right, someone look that up. Hori, you got that?
I'm on it. I'm on it.
All right.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
3%?
Um,
That's so tiny. Yeah, because like, I mean,
5%,
that.
but 5%.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
Get our
See?
5%?
facts.
Dang.
5%?
As of
Wow. See?
2022, as of last year, yeah,
Okay. Wow. See? That's
5%.
crazy. Only
You don't know what's under
5%.
there.
Oh, hell no.
Right?
Yeah,
How far does it even go? Like underneath? Like how deep is the ocean, you know? Where does it stop?
No,
I
yeah,
don't understand.
that's why, like, I have a great fear of, like, the ocean, also because I can't swim.
I can't swim either. So that's why I'm all like, nope. Oh, but do
That's
you?
why
That's another thing. Oh,
that's why I don't eat seafood because I'm all like, I don't eat the sea and the sea don't eat me. So when I go in the ocean,
no.
you know,
Yeah.
hell no.
It's like, "Nope." Oh,
Mm.
what were we saying, Lena?
Tying with the whole like ocean thing, like, do you believe in mermaids? Like I believe in mermaids, but
Ooh.
I don't think like they're like these pretty looking things like in movies and stuff. Like I think they look like fish things and
Sirens.
Like fish
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
was gonna say like sirens. I think in what Norse mythology or whatever. Like I guess sirens are
Mhm.
Yeah,
these
yeah.
like beautiful creatures, but like they're like I guess meant to lure in sailors, and then they get them once they're like obviously I guess under their spell of when they sing. So I don't know. Maybe mermaids could be like these I guess beautiful women, but at the same time maybe I'm more inclined to believe they're more like fish people, where they're like all ugly and like have fangs and stuff. So I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think because you know how like there's like this theory, like isn't well, I don't think it's a theory. Isn't it true that like all of us were like things evolved from the ocean to land over
Hmm.
time, right? And so
Yeah.
I would,
Another.
so maybe like they were evolving to humans, but like something happened in the genes or something, and they just became half fish, half human. You
Oh,
know,
maybe. Yeah.
I don't like thinking about that. That sounds
like
scary.
maybe because maybe like in a scientific point, maybe the genes just didn't like function well or it mutated and it just stopped the
Hmm.
evolution period and it just got stuck
Hmm.
between fish and human, you
Hmm.
know? It's
Yeah.
like us, like us Homo sapiens, like apparently we're like first monkeys and then
Yeah.
humans. Yeah,
Hmm.
so what happens if there's another evolution of fish to human,
Yeah, that's a
you
that's a
know?
whole other
Maybe.
beast to talk about, like the whole like evolution versus
Good
uh
old Charles Darwin, huh?
yeah,
Yeah. Old Darwinism.
I
creation
don't
versus
know.
Darwinism. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a conspiracy theory.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
yeah.
I think it's crazy to think that like we were like once monkeys or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people believe like we were well, not like monkeys exactly, but I think we were either monkeys or just like something really close to monkeys, and I'm not sure what the right is. I have to do more his like search for the history and stuff like that, but it's just kind of weird, yeah, because the ocean, like going back to the ocean, like yeah, the evolution of it and stuff like that, because we don't really know, like you said, 5%, that's a small that's a small amount of ocean, and I can't even imagine like the dark ocean where it's like I guess you go deep enough to the point where the like you can't even see the water is like all blue,
Mm-mm,
it's like all dark,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
that's where
mm-mm.
like what the little like angelfish from like what Finding Nemo comes out, where like he has this little light on his head, but he's
Lanternfish,
all
yeah.
Yeah.
horrifying looking, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
That is my version of hell.
yeah.
Just in the water, just pitch black. No, I
Oh
can't.
hell no. Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm.
No.
That is my biggest fear. Like the ocean and just dark. Like nope. Heck
Mm-mm.
no.
Yeah.
Like
Since
I'm not
is
about
Can't
that.
do that.
I'm not about the ocean.
So we've been talking for a while. Is there any final thoughts for conspiracy theories? Any, conspiracy theories on your mind, you guys?
Uh, um, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. There's like so many more that we could talk about, but because I know there's like a million. I know we have like a certain amount of time, but I mean, yeah, there's like what the Abominable Snowman, 5G giving you superpowers, stuff like that. Like there's a
Oh
whole
yeah.
can of worms we could get into,
Right? Area
but
51, you know,
yeah, Area
Oh
51.
my gosh. That one's
but
Mm,
that could be
I love
another
that
one. And
one.
also like
That
if
one's
people that
yeah.
are listening, right? Like throw your suggestions in our comments and, whether it's on any of our podcast posts or on YouTube or whatever, or social medias that we'll be posting on. Like, if you have
Mhm.
any conspiracy theories that you want us to touch bases like down the road, because like I said, our podcast isn't just conspiracy theories. We are all over the place.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
don't
mhm.
even think
so
I don't think we've even figured out what next week's is, but maybe I'm wrong. So
oh yeah, I don't know. Was it relationships already or was it gonna be friendship?
Uh, Probably both. We could probably like tie that under the umbrella, like as
was
like a
it or was
topic
it
and kind
the
of talk
what are we
about.
looking people
Oh yeah, that was that one. What do we look for when
in
we
person?
are going yeah, what do you look for in a person when we are going I can't speak today. I ran out.
No, you're good.
Words. Words.
Words are
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like Horace said, like, yeah, if there's any people watch or listening and hearing in our podcast, like if there's any topic that you might find interesting, or maybe something that you want us to kind of discuss on the podcast, yeah, like feel free to comment down on like certain topics. 'Cause I think we'll have a lot in store, but if you guys have any suggestions or ones you strongly want to hear about, yeah, let us know, and just kind of touch base and comment down below and kind of see what's up, and maybe we might take one of those and talk about it in one of the future episodes we have at Table of Four. So it'd be pretty exciting to kind of see what you guys have on the brain, you know.
On the brain. Yep.
On the brain. Well, I think that is it for today's episode, guys. You guys want to say bye?
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy
Bye.
it, and we will see you next Saturday, right? Next Saturday.
Don't forget to follow our
Oh, no.
socials.
Oh yeah, don't forget
Yeah.
to follow our socials. But now we'll see each other next Saturday. We're posting on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still
Yay,
figuring
so
things out. Second
it is,
podcast, baby. Second
right.
podcast.
Oh, two
Second
down. Let's
episode.
go.
We did it.
Yeah,
We
this-
did it.
And there's more to
Just
come.
two.
So
Okay.
Right.
Well,
All right.
that's
so,
it, guys.
Great.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.